coffee machine broke down. However, it's a spindle with a little magnet on. The good news is that it makes it. The first thing I do compare is I think I can fix it. Hey folks, I got some sad news. My beloved DeLonghi fully automatic coffee machine broke down. However, the good news, I think I can fix it. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to fix this unit. And it is the water pump. So I'm going to show you step by step how to change the water pump. Let's get to it. Let me open it. And it's a step-by-step video. How to do it, where, what, and how to order a pump, where to get a pump, what to look for, and actually how to do the work. Real quick, I'm going to talk about the tools you need. You need a Torx screwdriver. That's Torx if you wonder. Now these are unfortunately also safety or security screws, meaning the Torx has a pin in the middle as well. Now if you don't have that, you might be able to take a small flat screwdriver and still get it in and get the screw loose. Once it's loose, you can just work it out. However, if it's very tight, you may have trouble with that, because once you damage it, then you have a whole bunch of other issues. You need a Phillips screwdriver. That's the one with the star or the cross, I guess. These are more like the stars, the Torx. This one is just like a cross. And that's about more or less the only tools you need. Take out the trip tray, the water tank. Now each machine, of course, is slightly different with the layout. Now before you start this, of course, make sure you have it turned off and removed from the power source as well. I want to get all the side covers off here on either side. And that's a Phillips here. So on this machine, the screws are underneath. They may be slightly different from machine to machine. That's one there. And we have one here. So in here, you can just slide this down. There we go. That's down. This side as well. This side comes off too. The screws here, the Torx, there's 1, 2, and then there's 2 down here and 2 down here. But you need a little bit of an extension because it goes in fairly far at the bottom here. There we go. Then the next step is we are going to take the side cover off. Now here you've got to be a little bit careful. It's snapped in on top and it's not at the bottom. And then of course here, I'm not sure, I think it shows up, it's these plastic plugs. So, you know, I'm always a bit worried with plastic. Just gonna see which way this one's to come loose. There we go. As I said, you want to be careful. And we got this open. Then here you can take your fingernail and just press these tabs. Then you can remove the entire side. The motor here, the heating element here, then the various pipes and all that stuff. Let's turn this machine around so you can actually see where the water pump is. You see the water intake lines here. Then here is the flow meter. From the flow meter, it goes back to the pump. So out of the water tank, up here, down here, into the flow meter, through the flow meter, through the pipe, into the water pump, out the water pump, and then it goes to the coffee dispensing unit or the hot steam. If you're curious what this is, that's the grinder for grinding your coffee beans up here. If you want to look at the flow meter, just getting a couple paper towels here, because you may have a little bit of water in here. So we're going to take this off. That's right behind here. It's just the tubing. You can easily pull off. There we go. This flow meter, if you want to check it out, you can just pull this out. There we go. Pull the plug off and disconnect the secondary tubing at the bottom as well. Now, of course, you got to pay attention, make sure you remember what goes where. Now, if you want to check this, as it could be plugged here, it's just a quarter turn. You open this one up. It's not much to it. And then here's the flow meter. It's a spindle with a little magnet on. And of course, you have a gasket here. Make sure this is in nicely. Make sure this hole here, and some water coming out, is free, nothing in it. And if you really want to make sure that's nothing plugged in, you can blow in here and this should actually rapidly spin. So that's what kind of measures what the water go through. Quarter turn, and it's closed up. So we know this is all fine, has nothing to do with that. I checked this actually prior to ordering a water pump. That's what I would recommend to do. Before we're gonna take the water pump out, I'm just gonna take a picture real quick. As I say, that's what I recommend. You can see which hose goes where. And the other one I wanna worry about, there's two wires. There's a brown and a black one. Take one of the pictures here. Okay, then let's have a look up the side here, because that's where the water pump comes down and then it goes out here. So we'll just take a quick snapshot here too. So it makes it so easy these days. Don't even have to write stuff down anymore. You can just take pictures and then look at the pictures if you're worried you don't remember. What we want to do is get this pump out here. There's two connections. There's wiring here. So a black and a brown. We'll take them out of the groove here and see if we can just pull this off. Yeah, here is one. Black one is off. Brown one I can't get to it right now, so we'll wait till we pull this out more. Now this spring here, you see, there's a spring here, because the pump is kind of sitting with on rubber, so it makes it much easier and less noise, so you eliminate the vibrations here. Okay, so we're gonna push the spring. Now if you don't have enough hand strength, that spring is just clipped in here. You can take a plier or so just to move it, I guess, if you stand behind to the right side. So in this case, let's see, here we go. Yeah, I already got it loose back here, so that's ready to come out. Now we'll have to have a look up the other side here, and that is kind of one assembly. Take it apart here, then I can take this tubing and everything out and work on the counter here. That makes it much easier. Now here you want to take a very small screwdriver again. That might be even too big. Let's see. Oh no, here we go. Go underneath, and hopefully this shows up. You see this little clamp. It's just kind of a pressure fitting that holds this in place. So let's put this to the side. Then we can just, oops, there's a little bit of water again coming out. So let's soak that up. Because you don't want to have water sprayed all over the place and into the electronic. You see the pressure copper fitting here. So that's it. Trying to show to you as much as possible. So we know it's loose here. We know we have it out here. So there's only two things more. We'll pull it back just a little bit. My next step is I'm gonna pull this brown wire off. I gotta get a needle nose plier, so add this to your tools. It's just too strong because you don't want to break that. So let me grab one and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Just in case you know what I was talking about, needle nose plier here. So we're just gonna grab it back here, and there we go. Now I see we have something else here. A little electronic device here that's slid into the water pump. That should just slide out, and taking a small screwdriver and see if I can just push it out. So, but I need kind of both hands to do that. Ouch. And don't stab yourself. I got that out. Here it is. The only place the pump is still attached to is my water hose that comes off the flow meter. That's connected to the back of the pump. Here again, I'm just going to pull this off the pump. It might be a bit stuck, like in my case, so just try to work it loose, twist and turn it a bit. There we go. And off it is. Again, showing you where I pulled it off and where it came off the pump. My old pump is out. Now, of course, I have to do some modification. I have to transfer the spring here. I have to transfer the rubber, and I have to transfer the outlet portion here as well. But before we get to that, now you may go a new water pump. Models available on I'm not advertising any particular company, but I find that most of the times the easiest, I just go to a site like Amazon and search by the numbers and everything that's on here. Now this one is a name here, ULKA, but I don't really care too much what name it is. The voltage has to be fine, 120 or I guess 220 if depending where you live. 60 hertz. They're 1.15 minutes liter per minute, and then here maximum temperature and 52 watts, all that kind of stuff. That's really what's important. So with that you can go and search, but again, word of caution, pay attention and match it exactly what it says on your product label of your water pump here, so you don't go wrong. I'm going to double check real quick. I know I ordered the right one, but just in case they perhaps sent the wrong one, grabbed the wrong one, I'll just double check and make sure, always sure before I just go ahead and install it. Here is my package. As I said, I never even opened it yet. Okay, and first glance at it, it looks exactly the same. If you look at it, just we gotta transfer a few items from here over here. Let's look at it now. The first thing I do compare is my specifications. Let's have this here. It says want model EA EPA 5. Looks exactly the same. We move forward with swapping this around, because you don't want to swap something even though you ordered the right one, you checked the right stuff, and by accident they perhaps send you the wrong pump, and then you install it and didn't notice that is incorrect. It's just here, we'll pull off this spring here. Okay, that is off. There we go. And then here is the rubber then to pull off the actual pump. So that's off here. Now on this side, I could spin it out of the plastic here, because there is a thread in here. So that it's threaded in here. Actually, it turns very easy, so I may just do that. I can just spin this off. Oh yeah, look at that. Wonderful, not a problem whatsoever. Got some water, let's just soak this up. All right, next step is pull off this rubber thing. Now, don't confuse your old defective pump with your new one. That's why I leave this little red plug on here. That's a good indication. Tells me right away, just in case I get sidetracked, but that tells me right away which one is the new and which one is the old one. Just in case, your phone rings, you go somewhere, you step away for a minute and you go, which one is now the defective, which one is the good one. I suppose you could always go by the actual date, but why make this more complicated than it needs to be? Okay, there we go. Now we're going to put this back on. The only thing we're going to be careful, there is an O-ring here, and it's plastic on plastic, so we want to make absolutely sure we are not cross-threading this. There we go. See how easy this goes? Now, if that doesn't go that easy, you have a problem. You're probably cross-threading. Stop and try again from new before you create too much of a problem. Now, I can't go too much more. I think it should seal perfectly. If not, well, we'll find out at the end, but I do believe that's fine. We got this kind of sorted here, I think. Now, what I may do is I gotta pull or push this spring back onto the actual pump here. Yeah, I got it. It's attached. It goes in like this. This may need a little bit of adjustment, so as long as I can still put it on here now, yeah, that works. Okay, we are good with that. I'm gonna put this pump back in again, same way we took it out. Let's start with reassembling this again. First, same way, same order pretty much. I'm gonna slide this part back into here. Make sure whatever you do, you don't break cables. There we go. That's already good enough. Then we had the brown cable on the inside and the black on the outside. I am going to take a look at my picture I did take, and it's easily here, yeah, brown on the inside, black on the outside. Take a little picture. You can get sidetracked and who knows what, and at the end of the day it all still works out. Now this rubber here is going to slide into the holder here. It's part of the chassis of the machine itself, the housing, and the spring, there is a slot here where this is going to slide in that holds this end of the spring in place, and the other end is going to snap in here. Then it's going to be a little bit hard to see, but again, this is going to line up, slide in here. This spring is going to slide into this gap. This end is going to hook in here. I may have to adjust the spring slightly then once we see it, because it goes in level, and then of course we need to make the connection on the end there, but we'll do this at the very end. There you go, that slides in pretty good here. Now here I need a little bit more light to see. Oops, no, that's not good. I'm gonna take this red cover off here because it's easier like doing it like that. And then I have this hose here. I almost missed to attach this end of the hose. You just push this on the water pump. Again, make sure it's all the way in. You don't want it to come loose. It's hard to see, but it's just sliding on, just like up here. It just slides on. Make sure you have it all the way in. So let's go back here again. Line this up here first. Got a problem here. Let's snap this in. I'll go a little more. Yeah, I think that's good. That's good in there. And then here, I have it lined up properly where this has to snap in. All I have to do is push this back a bit and put it in here. There we go. This water pump is already back in and installed. Now, before we forget, we are gonna connect the last cable here. There we go. That's on. And on the other thing, you want to be careful. There's a little cutout here. You put them right back into the cutout on the end, that when you put the back cover on, you don't accidentally pinch them and potentially even damage the wiring. And if you have no power to the pump, well, now you've created yourself another problem. So that's good. Both are on. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. We have everything assembled here, the hoses. That's wonderful. As I said, it takes me a little longer because I try to explain this as good as I can with this repair, with this DeLonghi coffee machine repair. And look at that. It pretty much went in on its own already where it needs to be. Remember, that's the hose we took out. I just gotta make sure this is all the way in. I'm gonna need both hands. I'm gonna push on this so I can get this hose here nicely and properly in where it needs to be. I'm gonna leave the flashlight here. Not sure if that's gonna help. And let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Push it in as far as you can go. Then you take this teeny little clamp here, if it shows up, maybe here, and you just push it back in here. Okay, boom, and it snapped in. So I know how easy it went in. It's just like a pin and then a clamp, if I can push this like that, and it goes on, goes over it, snaps, and holds this hose in place again. So this is good. You know what? This looks fantastic. I want to make sure I don't have a leak here, of course, where I took it apart. And we want to make sure we don't have a leak here where we took it apart. And then, of course, back here. First step is, before we even put power on, I'm going to get a little bit of water in the water tank. Just give me a minute. Pull off a hose here so I can get some water from here into the flow meter, and then from here to the pump, because at this point the pump is running dry, and they don't like running dry for very long, because the water is kind of what gives the lubrication to these pumps. I may just disconnect from here and see if that gets us some water into this hose. Let's see here. Will gravity take over? You want to have it in the guidelines here. You don't want to kink that hose so it gets squeezed, or even right now you want to make sure everything is nice and open. Let's give this a whirl. Okay, so once we have everything together, I'll just put some water into the tank here. We're sliding it in. It's plugged in, so be careful if you don't close it, that you don't touch anything that's hot or shock yourself with the power. The reason I leave it open real quick here for a minute is so I can see if there's actually a leak or not. No, I filled the pump already. There's really not too much to do. It will pick up the water and just pushes it through. It makes a horrible sound. But it should clear out about after 5 seconds, and that clangy sound should just go over to a regular pumping sound, just like right now. You also see why it's on rubber, so it takes up the vibration, and it sounds good and healthy again. Let's try one more time. And it pushes out the water just perfect. So the next thing, just going to double check every point we disconnected it or took something apart, that you have no leaks. You take your flashlight, it's probably easier to see, look at it, that's all good. Everything looks good and dry. I think we are all good. Wonderful. We'll put it back together and I'll show you how that works. Okay, I'm back, got the side cover. So we'll put, there we go, this way. We'll put this back on again. I'll just pull it right out to the edge here. Works kind of best for me. And I'm going to clip them back in with the clips here. Start up here. Yeah, and then it should start to line up on the top as well. You see here. I said it's just plastic stuff, so it always makes me a little bit nervous. I think there we go. Yeah, got it. It's all clipped in, so you just gotta be careful and I guess be a little bit patient. Okay, that's clipped back together. Make sure you don't squeeze the cord too much here. That should just line up perfectly as well. Here we go. Oops. Here we go. I think that's good. So let's get the screws here. Let's just put one in on the top. There we go. Now we have one, 2, and 3 more at the bottom here. So we'll just start this way. You get the idea. I'm going to put this back in and I'll catch up with you. Oh, just about done. Oh, the trim needs to go back on as well. That's up front. Let's start with the long side here. That's just the Phillips screw, so I'm gonna line this up. And that's it for that. Let's see. And that's on. And it is just about the wrap. Happy it solved all the issue till next time, I guess. Now, if you have any questions, need to know something else, or just want to make a general comment about this, please don't hesitate to do so, as I'm just giving this a quick clean. So here we go. Let's just take it off the cord to begin with. Angle. But anyways, as I was saying, questions, concerns, comments, anything else, please let me know. Next week will, I don't know what it is, it will be travel or some happy days. We should have coffee again in the morning.